What is going on, Savage Life family? Today we are going to be looking at Moderna, and Moderna has had a great day, or a great week, shall I say. In the past week, it's up $34, 24%. And I made a recent video explaining that as long as Moderna doesn't dip below the $95 to $90 level, there's not a concern, and you have to hold the bag because in the long term, this is a $200 stock here. So sorry for that, Amber Alert. So Moderna, the cause of the huge spike was due to recent news and a conference that came out. The Moderna CEO recently spoke at a Paris investor conference, and he said that it seems that their vaccine was going to show protection for a couple of years. That really sounds good. It gives the impression that we might be able to get a vaccine once a year or once every 2 years. Now, that was a big concern for a lot of these vaccine companies due to the fact that there was a lot of speculation around the antibody protection not lasting long enough. So once the antibody protection dies out, what it means is that you're at further risk of getting the vid since you don't have those antibodies protecting you. The concern was that the antibody protection dies out under a year. That would mean you would have to get a vaccine every 3 months, every 6 months. Now, what the CEO confirmed was that the minimum repeat for the vaccine is going to be once a year, once every 2 years, which is good because those vaccines, not only are they a bit pricey, but imagine having to get a shot every 3 months. It would not be worth it. They would lose out on business and it would cause the company to fail. So that was the huge scare for a lot of investors to get into Moderna. So this huge spike was caused by more of a safety net that Moderna has and their toes that are being dipped into other researchers. So they're going to start a trial in July on that. And what that means for all investors is good news because it removes a big risk factor. Even if things look great in the clinical trial, if the antibody protection didn't last very long, that could ruin everything for Moderna. This is excellent news for Moderna and for Moderna's investors. Now, we have this year the idea that all of a sudden the company that was before clinical stage is now going to produce revenue in the billions. That's pretty significant. Beyond that, it recently announced 3 new infectious disease programs. They're going to work on preventative vaccines for HIV, seasonal flu, and Nipah virus. Now, for the flu and for HIV, they're starting phase 1. They aim to start phase 1 this year. This is really significant, the idea that we're not just talking about one product anymore, but now there's technology that we see works in humans, and that is pretty good, a pretty good indication that it could work for some of these other indications as well, like HIV and seasonal flu. So their RNA is working, is pretty much the information on these articles that have been released. And they plan on using those RNA to better other fields and create other vaccines for other viruses like HIV and the flu. Now, what does that mean for Moderna in the long term? That highly raises the value, as you can see here at 172. They now have a support around the 150, 160 line. So if you plan on buying into Moderna, I'd say wait a little bit for a dip, especially don't buy on a green day, buy on a red day. I know it seems to be scary, but you have to buy when it's low, not buy when it's high, guys. So looking at this chart here, it had a 20-day low of 102 around this level, and this is when I explained that if it dipped below 95.90, you'll be entering the danger zone, and it didn't dip below that, so you just had to hold the bag. And if you did so, you're raking in the profits now. $218 high in the pre-market. Wonderful. So now that it has a new high of $218, of course it caused the sell-off to drop into 170 that it is now, because once the stock reaches a new all-time high, a lot of people want to collect profits. Now, where do I see this stock by the end of 2021? Now, I strongly believe this company could smash their earnings coming up in February 24th, which is going to boost the stock back up to around a $200 price point. And by the end of this year, I'd see it breaking the new high. And once that revenue starts coming in for the company, I don't have a doubt in my mind that this company could be around the 230, 240 level. So there you have it for Moderna. That was a quick update on the stock. If you guys have any questions, be sure to drop it down below in the comment sections. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.
again.